The engines were excited. There were to be some special rail tours by a seaside, and an engine was to go on the rail tour. It ought to be me, observed Mallard. Anyway, that seaside did help pay for my repairs. The other engines thought that someone else should go. Thomas knew he wouldn't be chosen, but he enjoyed listening to the other engines arguing about it. He was pleased in the end when it was decided to be given to Green Arrow. That evening, after Green Arrow had come back from the rail tour, he spoke to Thomas. "I have never seen so many people," he said. "It's just amazing." The next day, the manager came up. "There are to be even more people tomorrow," he said. "I don't know if you'll be able to pull the coaches, Green Arrow, with so many people. It'll be way too heavy for you." "Of course I can," huffed Green Arrow. "My brothers and I did during the war." "Alright then, if you're sure," said the manager, "but you won't be able to pull it alone. An engine will have to go with you." He looked at Thomas. "What do you say, Thomas?" Thomas was delighted to go. So it was all agreed with. The next morning, Thomas and Green Arrow had their coats washed and polished. After the men had finished washing and polishing them, their coats gleamed like the sunshine. Then they set off to the station to collect their train. When they arrived at the seaside, Thomas had never seen so many people. They were all crowding up to get into the coaches. Soon they started for the seaside. There was a lock near to the seaside, near a ruined abbey, around a corner. When Thomas and Green Arrow were puffing away from the seaside back to York, some children waved at them. Green Arrow tooted his whistle to say hello to them, and the children cheered, but Thomas wasn't looking at them. Looking ahead, he had seen something mysterious on the line. Pape, stop! He shouted. The train was hard and heavy to stop, but they managed it just in time. Now everyone was able to see that just in front of Thomas there was a place where the river had flooded the embankment. The driver and fireman went to inspect it, then they came back. "We won't be able to go on," said the driver. "It's not safe." Buses came for the passengers, but it was too late when the driver and fireman decided that it would be safe to use the other line. Pushing the coaches back down the line, Thomas and Green Arrow went over a crisscross line. On his own, Thomas puffed past the ruined abbey on the line beside. Then Green Arrow puffed past with the coaches, and together they brought the train back to York. A few days later, a crowd of people came to see Thomas. Then the manager walked up, and behind him was the Fat Controller. "Oh dear," thought Thomas, "they've come to take me away for frightening that child." But the Fat Controller was smiling. The people cheered. The manager then raised up his hand for silence. "Thomas, your controller told me that you are a really useful engine. He is right. For saving a nasty accident yesterday, you will become an honour of the Great Railway Museum. The special plate will remind you of our visit to York. 3 cheers for Thomas the Tank Engine. Hip hip, hooray! Hip hip, hooray! Hip hip, hooray!" "Well done, Thomas," smiled the Fat Controller. "I knew that you would be a credit to our railway."